Hello, everyone, and you welcome another Pondering with Progress Over Perfection. We are in the studio of Age Radio Australia in Perth. Today, as you can see, just me. There's no one around to talk with, so I decided to talk about relationship, and I collect a couple of questions that clients and people send me about relationship. Questions I think can be very important, can be very useful for you. I try to respond to them, okay, at the best I can. And of course, if you have extra questions, please reach out and let me know, and we'll try to give you better answer. All right. Now, the first question is, why do some couples grow stronger over time, while it seems that others slowly drift apart? Well, this is a very common situation. If you look, there is a couple that look like they have been together forever, okay? And they look like they don't have problem. They seems live in symbiose. So, and you wonder how they do it. What happened there? Why other couples instead have struggle in their life, in their relationship? Well, I try to put down a few points. Okay, first of all, we have to have a look at what the studies say, and usually couples that come from parents or family that are already divorced, okay, are more likely to get divorced in their relationship. Then there is several situations. For example, the one that actually work on the relationship and actually they look like they're always happy is because those couple are very emotionally connected with themselves first and with the partner. So there's a consistent emotional connection between the two. Then they have very healthy conflict management. So what I'm saying this is couple always have situations that maybe are not very pleasant. So couples must have some struggle, okay? It's very normal, it's common. Couples that tell me, we don't have problem, don't believe it, do not exist. The problem is, and the difference is between the one actually work, the other one doesn't work, is what they do with that, okay? How they answer to the problem, okay? This person have a healthy conflict management, or the conflict from a little point become a situation that is unbelievable. Okay, for example, why the trash is still here, you know, and then the other person, instead to take charge of the responsibility of that, answer back, pushing the problem to the person. So in this way, you raise a conflict between the two persons. Okay, so a very healthy conflict management. Then what is important, a couple work if both of the two in the relationship actually grow together. It's very important topic, especially in today's society where both of the gender in the relationship want to be part of the society. Okay, you must have a very high understanding of what are your partner dreams and expectation, okay, and you help each other to grow as a couple. Okay, and then there's a very important topic is about appreciation and affection. Couples that have a very lovely relationship spend time to appreciate each other. Instead to point out the unpleasant dynamic from the partner, they point out what is good. Okay, studies say that to have a good relationship, you need to have a ratio of 5 good interaction against 1 negative interaction. What it means, if I complain about something that my partner do once, I should have 5 good things to say to the partner to match the situation. In this way, you're going to create a healthy relationship. Why this? Why this 5 against 1? The 5 against 1 is because negativity stick like the spaghetti against the wall. Okay, stick. For example, if I tell you that you are beautiful for 365 days, okay, and then the 366th day I slap you, it doesn't matter how many times I told you you're beautiful, you will remember my slap. Okay, because negativity stick much harder. This is why you need a constant positive interaction with your partner. Then I think they are very intentional in their relationship. They're really intentional. They wake up in the morning with the thought, I'm going to do the best for my partner. I want to be with this person for the rest of my life. Doesn't matter what. They spend time with the partner. The partner is the priority in their life. And this is what makes the difference between one actually work and one that doesn't work. The one that doesn't work, for example, is they have a lot of unresolved conflict. Yeah, a lot of resolved conflict. For example, 2 years ago, my partner texted someone, and we never talked about, but the pain of the fact remain in the relationship. So there is no communication about that. Then the second is lack of communication. They're not able anymore to talk to each other. Okay, and they struggle. They look like they walk on eggshell all the time. Yeah, they have emotional neglect. They neglect the emotional situation between the two. For example, they are really easy to put down the emotion of the other person. Okay, when they don't let the other person, the partner, express their emotional feeling. This kill the communication between the two. Then the change the couple go through in their life. Think this is supposed to couple stay together for 50, 60 years, 50 years. They should get together around 20, 25. They live around 75, 80. So in a normal situation, we think the couple should stay together until they don't die, correct? So it means 50 years together, okay? In 50 years, the couple change in the relationship. And what killed the relationship is that the both of them do not stay update with the changes. And this is very important fact. Then unmet needs. They let the busy lifestyle, the busy life with the kids, with the work, get in the middle between them. This is again something that is very unhealthy for a relationship. So, recap: the bad relationship happen when there is unresolved conflict, lack of common commitment, and a lack of communication about emotional neglect, change without connecting, okay, the change between the two persons, then busy lives in between, and the met needs. Yeah, those I think are very important. Yeah, and I really believe that the couple that work in relationship is the one that takes charge and responsibility of what they do. It's very, very important. Okay, so the second question I want to talk about is, what are some of the common reasons of people cheat? Well, people cheat for several reasons. Okay, can be because the couple, as I say, there is an emotional disconnection between the two. Okay, there is a lack of physical intimacy between the two. There is a lack of self-esteem. There is a lack of there's an identity crisis in the relationship. There is the opportunity. Okay, many times people cheat even a good relationship. This is something that I worked the last year with a very young couple. One of the two cheated on the other one. And if you look at them, they look like the perfect couple. They're both very beautiful, both of them, and they're very well positioned in the society. Both of them have a very good job, okay? The problem is one of the two wasn't happy anymore about what was becoming. And this person need to shake the tree, as I say. They need to find some reason the why she would stay in the relationship. Okay? And that's what happened. And yet this person was saying, it's impossible for me to believe that us in a so perfect relationship, this happened. It happens. It happens. Sometimes we cheat because we need to save ourselves. Yeah, we don't like anymore the person that we became in the relationship. And we're not anymore, we are scared to say it because we want to keep that perfection with us, but we know that we need something else. Now, I don't excuse, but we have to remember that cheating doesn't happen suddenly, okay? It's not a thing that it happens, it appears in front of someone, okay? There is a cascade, we call the cascades. And this is what happened in relationship. For example, cascades, when you have a partner that doesn't talk with you anymore, okay? And you have less physical connection. Maybe it's 3-4 years because the kids, because the work. And you start to see that the lady or the guy at the cafe give you a compliment to maybe to change your hair. And you think, wow, even the barman saw that I changed my hair. Why my husband doesn't? Why my wife doesn't? And this is the beginning of a cascade. From there, the seeds of unhappiness start to grow inside you. Okay? Otherwise, another point is when you say, this person is just a friend. There's a beautiful book that is called Just Friend, not Just Friend, by Shirley Grass, and talks about how the betrayal start. And many times start from just friend. And you start with not a sexual, not a physical betrayal affairs, but with an emotional affairs. What is the difference between emotional affair and physical affairs? Well, let's say the words. Emotional affair is where you find someone that you share things, emotional things, okay? You start to talk about yourself. You start to share with this person things that you don't share anymore with your partner. And you're going to take away that secrecy, that exclusivity between you and your partner. And then we have the physical affairs where actually you physically going to have a relationship with someone else. And many times start with just friend. In fact, this couple that I worked with, I was talking with you, for you, start, we are just a friend. Yeah? So we need to build boundaries around how we interact with people with the other sex. Okay? Anyway, cheating is something very particular, okay? Because cheating sometimes can be just what happened after months and months of neglect. Okay, how I'm saying many times with my couples is we need to understand why things happen, because of course we don't talk about those people that go around cheating. Okay, there is these people, men and women, or any gender anyway, and the point is that many times cheating happen because there's a lack of something. And my question is, the cheating start when the partner stop to be intimate with the other person, the other one in the relationship, or the cheating start when the other person that doesn't have intimacy with the partner for years actually find the courage to have something that re-spark her life or his life. Where actually start the cheating? Yeah, we need to be very attentive at this conversation. Then, of course, when you cheat, you always in the wrong, always in the wrong. But this doesn't mean that even the other person have implication in what happened, because there is no perfection in the relationship. Okay, and what is important here, that both of them have taken responsibility of what happened in the relationship. Yeah, I hope I answer the question. Now, third question is what I'm working mainly. Okay, is about, can relationship truly recover after an affair, or trust never fully rebuilt? Couples can recover from an affair. I'm telling you, because it is possible. But we need some condition here. We need that both of the people in the relationship are willing to start to talk about, not about me anymore, me, but about us. The conversation is about me and you, I and you must become we. Okay. Second, the person that actually betrayed must be open to talk about what happened. Fully talk about what happened. Sometimes I hear people, I don't know what I did it, why I did it. Well, probably you know why you did it. So let's talk about. Let's answer questions. And then you must open your relationship a full workout. Like you take your car when it's broken to the mechanic, you need to take your relationship to get fixed. And sometimes you have to take apart all the piece of the car to to make it work. And you need to do the same with couples. With couples, you need to be able and ready, if you want, to take apart every piece of the relationship to make sure that you're going to rebuild in the same way. As I say with my couples, relationship, like everything, can end. Can end. Now, when these things happen, the question you have to ask yourself, do you want to rebuild a second marriage, or you want to stop the relationship? That is a very important question. There is any common ground where we can work with? Because if it's been an adventure, because like happened with a couple, for 5 years, they didn't have sex, okay? They haven't been intimate for 5 years. 5 years, okay? The other person find himself in a position that he didn't know how to talk about that. He didn't know how to ask because was always rejected. He didn't know what to do and find someone, the just friend, as I told you before, to talk with. And this just friend became something more. So this common ground, there is common ground. They still want to be together. They still want this relationship work. This is a very important question. So answer the question, yes, you can recover after an affair, but need a lot of work. And the trust can be rebuilt. I have proof couples that went through that, and with a lot of work, maybe a year and a half, they rebuilt the marriage, and they are happier than they were before because the both of them understood what they did wrong. What's next is the conversation must be, now you see that the impossible became possible. So what do you think will never happen actually happen? What are you going to do if this happen again? Are you able to talk about? Are you able to discuss? Are you able to sit and have a conversation with your partner about your fear, your struggle? It's very important. Many times we are too busy. We don't stop and talk about these things. Yeah. I want to say thank you to Travis. Great show. Love watching from Vietnam. So in Vietnam is a beautiful country. I've been there last year in September. Fantastic country, Vietnam. Thank you for watching, Travis. Now, another one, fourth question. How do couples keep intimacy when life gets busy? Now, this is one of the things I start straight away with my couples, because those things are very, very important. You need to build times where couples spend time together. Okay, we call the ritual connection that are very useful for the couple to make sure that they actually spend time together. And how you can do that? So have a look when you come back from work. When you come back from work, how do you cheers your partner, or how the partner cheers you when you come back from home? The other partner is on the other side of the house and scream, ciao, or maybe don't say anything at all, or come to you and say hello. Huh? Look at your dog, look at your pet. Look at your pet. When you come back home, your pet is the first one that say hello to you. Okay? Now, I don't want you to do what the pet do, but you should. Okay? One of the things I suggest to every couple, if they want to strengthen the relationship, as soon the one of the two come back at home as last, the other one is going to cheers the person. How? and this is important, hugging and kissing. 20-second hug minimum and 5-6 second kiss, because those actions help your body to create endorphins, and endorphins are the hormones of love. Yeah, so hug and kiss before to go to the toilet, before to go to the shower, before to go to take your beer. You hug and kiss. Already that make your relationship much stronger. Second, you're going to find the time to spend 20 minutes every single day, 20 minutes every single day, and you talk up with your partner about your day. But you don't talk about work, okay? You talk about you as a couple. You as a couple. You don't have to talk always about the kids. Otherwise, your life, your relationship become about the kids. Okay? And then when the kids leave the nest, you find each other that you don't know what to talk about. You have lost the connection with your partner. Your partner changed, and you lost those changes. And then you don't recognize them anymore. So you need to spend time to talk about what changed in your relationship. Ask questions as, are you happy? What can I do to make you happier? You feel loved. What can I do to make you feel loved? How did something make you upset? And take charge, responsibility of what you do. Eh? For example, years ago came in this couple, okay, and they came in because they couldn't communicate anymore. Okay, he was the one that every single day was buying the same chocolate for the wife. Okay, because was the favorite chocolate for the wife. So a small chocolate every single day. He was stopping in the same store and buy the same chocolate and give to the wife this chocolate. At one point, the wife couldn't eat anymore that chocolate because some allergy inside the chocolate, milk or stuff like that. She didn't communicate this change to him. He didn't ask. Okay? Now, she built the resentment against him because in her mind, he would have to understand that she changed. But how he could understand is she never said. The other side, okay, he was upset with her because she never told. Well, why you never ask? This is very important conversation. Very simple conversation. And then all these small things about the chocolate became about everything else. Because in her mind, start thinking, he cannot see that I'm changing, he doesn't care, he doesn't love me, all these things. And he was thinking, I cannot talk with her, everything I do is wrong, all these things. And you go down the hill in this way, where if you stop and say, hey, do you still like chocolate I give to you every day? No. Oh, why? What happened? Well, there's milk inside, and now the milk made me fart, for example. So communication is the key for your happiness in relationship. Now, this is how you keep intimacy, and then spend time to have intimacy. Even if you don't want to, do something, okay? Maybe you don't have to be fully complete. There is many ways to do it, okay? Even just sleep together naked, that is already intimacy, okay? Caress each other, but that is already intimacy. You don't have to be fully, okay? But that already is intimacy. Kissing, as I say, kissing is a very important thing. Go in bed before to go to sleep, kiss for a few minutes and tell to each other how you love each other. In that way, you're going to have a beautiful sex life. I'm telling you, you're going to have a beautiful sex life, but you need to put the effort inside and spend time to do it. and not find excuses because there is a game, there's my friend, because, okay? Now, I hope you like what I'm saying, and I hope everything I say can help you to have a better relationship. This is all the things I'm working with, okay? Now, why do people struggle to talk openly about their sexual need with their partner? Well, this is about society. Why couples do not talk about sex? Because we grew up in a society where people say, we grew up saying that sex is bad. If you masturbate, you're going to lose your visual. If you masturbate, you're a woman. You are a prostitute. You are no good. It's bad for you. Okay, so we don't know what we want. We don't know what we want, and when we reach a point that we need to talk about sex, we don't talk about sex because we don't know how to talk about sex. Women, for example, don't talk about sex, or they don't talk about their desire about sex because, let's say, if a man go with 100 women, is a great. If a woman go with 100 men, is a prostitute, is a whore. Yeah. So it's important to understand there is cultural beliefs behind the lack of communication in their sex. And what we need to do here, again, talk about the beliefs about sex. So what is sex for you? Sit in front of each other with a glass of wine and ask each other, what is sex for you? What is intimacy for you? And try to explore what are the difference between the two. Do you have any fantasy? A fantasy is a fantasy. A fantasy is not a real thing, okay? A fantasy is a fantasy. You can talk about fantasy. And then you need to create space to talk about this fantasy without judgment, okay? It's very important to create the space to talk about fantasy. And try to have the understanding of why this fantasy. Talking about in this way, you're going to create trust between the two in a relationship. You're going to create intimacy. You're going to create a bond. You're going to create something that is unique. You need to find something that glue you together against the wall. Okay? For example, come in a couple few months ago, and both of them wanted to explore different way to have a sexual relationship. But both of them were so scared to tell to each other because they didn't know how to express their needs, their wants, their dreams. Now, these dream as wants make them different, better, worse. They really want to go through these fantasies. That is another situation, okay? Because, for example, like happened, this guy wanted to have the experience to see the wife have intercourse with another one, with another man, or with another woman. Now, that was his dream. That was his dream. But talking through, he actually understood that was a dream, was a fantasy, that he actually just the thought of she's doing that, okay, was repelling him. But the talk between the two So she was telling him story of affair with someone else was arousing him. Okay, so we need to understand where are the limits between intimacy and sex. What is the reality and the fantasy of what we're looking for in relationships? Huh? This is why people struggle to talk about sex, because society told us that sex is bad. Yeah, mostly. Now, number 6, this would be my last. If you can give a piece of advice to someone navigating, struggling with intimacy, what would be? Search for help. Search for help. There is a lot of people out there that are very good in what they do, okay? And sometimes we need a third person to help us to have a better relationship. Like we take, as I say before, the car to fix, as we go to school to learn, as we go to the doctor to understand what happened with us because maybe we're sick, as we maybe search third party to help our business to grow. Well, there's nothing wrong. Find someone like a counselor or psychologist that help us to understand the dynamic of a relationship. So it's very important that we become humble enough to start to talk and say there is a problem and we need to talk about. This the biggest piece of advice for people to struggle. Then I say before, you need to find a way to recommit with this person. And you must find what is in common between you two. Start to talk about the positive things between you two. What is the things that lead you together since the beginning of your relationship? What let the spark become something meaningful and magnificent as you have in your relationship? And remember this. I know that is haunting end relationship, but sometimes relationship end. Sometimes relationship end. And sometimes is with people like this, counselor or psychologist, they can help you to unplug this relationship without being mean to each other. Because remember that for the time that you spend together, you love each other. Maybe you made a couple of kids, you raised them. Maybe you bought a house. Maybe you have pets. Maybe you have friends. Maybe you have a circle is a community. A family is a community. Or is a tribe, become a tribe. Yeah. So this is what I say. Search for help, because relationship can be fixed. It can be helped. Everything is possible. Now, this was my last answer of the day. Guys, if you're looking for relationship help, be very happy to help you out. You'll find my website, Mauro Daviddi, MauroDaviddi.com.au, and reach out to, or if you don't find it, call here, Edge Radio. They give you my detail, and I'll be very, very happy to help you out. See you next video, see you next week for another appointment with relationship. Ciao!